Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Usha.
Let's start episode 196 of Ask Vidas and Usha podcast. This question was sent by Howard. He writes, Vidas and Ushra, I have recently begun working on chorales and variations and partitas by Pachelbel, and I am very interested in the style he used to create these works. I have also found similar styles composed by Walter and Krebs. What other composers use this style, and are there any contemporary composers that use this style? Osha, do you love partitas and chorale variations by Pachelbel?
Yes, I like them. They are easy and pretty pieces.
They're very suitable not only for concert but also for liturgy too.
Yes, that's right. I think Pachelbel is one of the best suited composers for liturgy.
And I remember you have played plenty of Pachelbel works.
Yes, because I had, that volume of his music.
Published by Dover, right?
Yes, and I used it a lot because, I needed a lot of new music each week to play at church, and so that's what I did.
I used this collection too. I loved not only his variations but also his chorale settings, 4-part settings. They were like expanded versions of chorale harmonizations.
Yes.
With short interludes. It seemed to me. What is the basis of the style? I think people should get a better feeling how those pieces are constructed. Probably continuo feeling, basso continuo, right?
Yes, but I think the main thing is the subject, the theme. And if it's free composition, then composer just pre-composes the theme and variates it. But if it's chorale based work, then the theme is the chorale melody. This composer harmonizes first and then creates different settings based on that theme.
Let's talk a little bit about the structure of those variations. Variations could be done just for manuals only, or it could be done with pedals like Passacaglia or Chaconne.
Yes.
And we have those famous two Chaconnes by Pachelbel in D minor and F minor.
Yes. And to know why it's not so hard, to learn partitas or variations as other pieces, because the harmonic chords, they are the same all the time, although the figuration is different in each variation.
Usually they start slower and they speed up variation with smaller note values towards the end.
Yes. So, for example, we would took like traditional variations. You could expect that the theme will be exposed to you, presented to you by quarter notes, let's say, yes, and maybe some half notes in the cadences. Then in the first variation you would get like 8 notes, and then later you would have 16 notes, maybe some triplets, and you could even achieve 32nd notes.
To make the whole process more interesting, somewhere in the middle, Pachelbel might change the mode to the minor and add chromaticisms.
Yes, that's true. And do you know if he uses like parallel minor or just same name key but minor key? Let's say C major versus C minor.
Yeah, same name key.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, these variations stay in the same key. And that's what's magical about those variations, because you always can recognize the theme and always have the same color throughout the cycle. and your listeners would appreciate everything very well. They would understand how the piece is constructed so well. And Johann Sebastian Bach, when he was young and tried to study foreign composer works, he a lot of times chose Pachelbel's chorales and
Yes.
expanded them.
Yes, I think Pachelbel was one of his main influences in life. It's very important, actually, composer.
Because Pachelbel was the teacher of his brother.
That's true.
Of his eldest brother, who was the first teacher of Johann Sebastian too.
Yes. And as in our question were mentioned other composers, for example, Krebs, yes.
Mm-hmm. And Walter.
So basically, Walter was basically almost contemporary of Pachelbel, maybe just a little bit younger. But
Krebs was also not too far removed from Bach because he was a student.
So basically, the style of variation settings of partitas was very common in Baroque time, and not only in Germany. J.S. Bach composed partitas as well.
You mean, but he also lived in Germany.
Yes.
But in various parts of Germany, right? Northern Germany, Böhm lived in I think Lüneburg, right? And that's
Yes.
North Germany. And Walter lived in central Germany, and Krebs also in central Germany. And Johann Sebastian Bach wrote partitas, I think, fairly early in his life, influenced by those composers previously mentioned. So,
And I think if we are talking about influences, we need to mention Dietrich Buxtehude as well, because he composed partitas as well, and he influenced Bach as well.
well, exactly. And those partitas are not too far removed from variation cycles, like they call verses, right? By Böhm, by maybe Sweelinck and his contemporaries too. They are more polyphonically created, of course, than Pachelbel, but they also have the same structure. The theme is heard throughout. Sometimes have more imitations, but they're very beautiful to play, and I think listen.
And if you like variations and partitas, you definitely have to see French noëls too, because these are, typical French type of music that are, based on Christmas carols.
Mm-hmm.
And are also composed in variation styles. So such composers as Decan, for example, or
Balbatre, or
Dandrio,
exactly.
we all compose variations based on noëls.
Even more romantic composers like Guillemin wrote cycles of noëls too.
Yes, that's a French tradition.
Mm-hmm. So talking about more modern times, I think Hugo Distler wrote some variations too. But then the style might be more contemporary. The language of musical composition might be more contemporary.
If you really like that Pachelbel style, you have to improvise yourself. This will be sort of, already modern composition, but in style. Because I think Pachelbel's partitas and variations are wonderful models for improvisation.
In the old style, you mean?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
A lot of improvisers who love early music, they start with his style, not with Bach's style, not with Buxtehude, not with Sweelinck.
Yes, because his style is not as complicated.
But nevertheless, very beautiful.
That's true.
So where to start if a person loves to improvise? Maybe pick a hymn tune, right, from your hymnal, and do what Pachelbel did. Maybe analyze a little bit what he did in his partitas. See how many variations move in 8 notes, how many in triplets, where does he change the mode and add chromaticism, how does he transfer to 16-note values, maybe even to sextuplets too at the end. And then do the same on your chorale tune, on your hymn.
Yes. And if we're talking back to liturgy, I think it's excellent for those places in the liturgy where you don't know how much music you will need in advance, because you can end up in any of those variations.
You mean you can stop, right?
Yes.
Thanks, guys. We hope this was useful to you. Pachelbel is an amazing source to explore and experience with your musical adventures. And we hope they will lead you to more musical discoveries. Right, Osha?
Yes, we hope so.
And send us more of your questions. These are wonderful situations. We would love to help you grow. And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.